Hello there, amazing, wonderful, mesmerizing, sophisticated, eclectic, authentic people out there. How you all doing? Welcome to my channel, and I'm very happy to see you today. What else can I come up with, right? What kind of other strange ideas can come to my mind? Today we're going to do a beautiful reading. Because I can see that a lot of you are very interested in actually the personality readings, and it's a very strange thing because usually if you check out all of the tarot readings, a lot of them have the most views on the love life, but it seems like in here are very spiritual people and they want to know about themselves more and understand their purpose of life. And that is why I am going to present you today a very interesting topic, okay? We are going to check out your personality. We will do, let's say that way, we will do a SWOT analysis of yours. What is a SWOT analysis? In marketing, it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay, we're going to do a little SWOT analysis on your life, on your personality, and on your being, you know. And today I'm going to use chess in order to help me with this beautiful journey. I believe it's going to take a long time, so I most probably will have to divide the video on 2 parts. So please allow me to introduce you first to the chess. Some of you might know this game, some of you might have played, some of you may not know anything. And this is a beautiful chess. It's the Kyrgyz style chess, which was given to my brother as a present. Actually, inside of my family, everyone plays chess. I'm not that good at it, but I really have a lot of joy playing it, despite the fact that you know, I'm not the best at it. But the whole point is that chess is a life, game of life, okay? And it's a very beautiful game. And allow me to explain to you first the history of the chess, and then we will slowly go into the positions and all of the explanations and etc. So the history of chess actually started around 1,500 years ago. The parent, right, of the chess is actually India, and they had their own game called Chaturanga, which was taken by the Persians later and afterwards brought into the Europe and became very popular. It also had original 8-on-8 squares, you know, but the figures were different. And they had a bit of a different meaning, and they were not having as many possibilities to move as the modern chess has. Okay, allow me to explain also how does it work. The chess has 2 parts, right? The white side, here it's red, and there's this black side, which is golden black in here. So usually the one who starts the game is the white ones, okay? And they begin the game. So they have, let's say, the attacking strategies most of the times, while the black ones are having a defensive lines in them. But depending on what type of gamer you are, how good you are at it, and who is your opponent, the roles may be reversed, okay? So even though the whites are starting, it could be that the blacks are going to be attacking and the white ones are going to turn into defensive ones. But by default, white ones are the attacking ones. That's the first thing. Second thing, there are 6 of different figures out there. So we have, let me actually start with the lowest ones, okay? The pawn, okay? The pawns are actually very interesting figures in this game. And allow me explain to you why is that. First of all, it's because the pawn is the shortest of all. There are 8 of pawns, right, in each set, and the pawns may move 1, okay, or 2 spaces at a time. So they can actually, because there's this like line, imagine in here, This is their territory, and that is the territory of the black side. So they can go up to 2 on their own side, and then afterwards they will have to go 1 by 1. Okay? And the thing is that you might think the pawn is the weakest of the figures, which partially is, because usually in the game they are the first ones to get destroyed. But allow me to explain to you the interesting part. So, for example, first things first, if this figure is coming there, it eats it this way. Okay, on the diagonal part. But the second part in this beautiful pawn is that when it reaches the ending line of the opponent, this one can turn into any figure it wants to, except for king, right? Queen, rook, knight, maybe even stay a pawn itself, whichever one it wants to be, it can be. And that's the very interesting power of the pawn. From the beginning, you might think it's useless, but in the middle of the game, once it reaches, it's crazy. And if, for example, you're gonna have king and the rook, right, on one side, and you will have king and couple of pawns, there's a high chance that the king and the pawns are going to win the game. It's a very strange thing, actually. The pawns seem to be very weak, but at the same time, they are very strong. Okay, so that was the little pawns out there. Beautiful figures. I like them a lot. There's huge amount of strategies of how to win the game with pawns and king only. So that's why there's a beauty in this game, because there are so many different variants and options out there. Second of all, we have the rook. Okay, there are 2 rooks usually in a set. Okay, and the rooks is the piece which looks like a castle, and in some parts of the world is known as a castle himself. It can move any number of horizontal and vertical steps till it reaches the end of the board or kills a piece on the opposing player. This one is actually a very interesting figure itself, because, for example, if there are no figures of this, you know, they're somewhere like there, I don't know, somewhere over there, okay, playing their games. What happens is that you can actually switch the places with the king, and the rook can protect the king, you know, like that. Sorry, the recording stopped. But the whole point is that the rook can protect the king, you know, and in a way give him the space of security with all the other figures there. So the rook or the tower or castle is a very interesting figure inside of the game, and it's quite powerful, I would have to admit. Okay, then the next we have the knights. It looks like a horse. Okay, so there are 2 knights also in each part of the chess, right? And the knight is a piece which is represented by the head and neck of a horse. The knight can move 2.5 steps in any direction, so it moves in a kind of like this motion. Okay, 3 on 2, 3 on 2, 3 on 2. Okay, it's a very tricky type of figure, because sometimes when it does its move, you know, it can actually threaten a lot of different pieces out there. There's such a thing as a fork, even called, when the horse can actually threaten 3 of the figures to be lost at one time. Okay, so it's a very powerful and magnetic type of a figure. Okay, so next, bishop. Bishop are also very known as camels, so that's why the camel figure is here. So there are 2 bishops in each chess. So you can see that there are 3 of them and 3 of them in here, and then there's a queen and king. So they're very they're very dual, right? So there are 2 bishops in each team of chess. They look like minarets. Very funny, right? And have a pointed top. What is a minaret? Minaret is a tower in Muslim religion, or in Islam, from where the prayers are coming. So yeah. A bishop can move in number of steps diagonally, so it can go this way or that way. And the thing is that you maybe have noticed in one line there are 2 of them, so one is black and one is white, you know, so they move only diagonally. And it's a very interesting figure, because usually the knights and the bishops are equal in the game, but in most of the games, a lot of people give the preferences to bishops rather than to the knights when there's a game, actually. Okay, the queen herself. Oh, the mighty queen. The queen is the second tallest, actually, piece in the whole set. And compared to the king, which is right next to her, it does not have a cross on the top. Because usually in the original version, the king has like little cross on it, you know, because it's a European version, but oh well. The queen can move any number of spaces. She can go diagonally, she can go backwards, front, like she can do pretty much all the moves except for the moves of the knight. That's why knight is so important in the game, because it does the trick that queen cannot do. That's why there's this fox situation that can sometimes happen to the figures in the game itself. She actually is the most lethal piece in the set, because she's the one to protect, that protects and has the numerous possibilities compared to the rest of the figures. But at the same time, a lot of gamers who are playing chess, they do not like to bring her from the beginning into the beginning of the game. They prefer to use her at the end when the battle is, you know, in the middle of yeah, anyways. And the last one, the beautiful king. Okay, he's the vital piece in the chess. I have this a very funny story. In my childhood, you know, I used to play with my grandfather, and sometimes I would not notice that he would actually eat up my king and I would still play. But that was so ridiculous, because once the king is defeated, the whole game is defeated. So the whole army of these figures are there to protect the king and the territory. Okay, so it's the tallest piece, and it has a cross on the top. Usually it is the most crucial piece, as I said, as the game, because once the king dies, everything dies. Checkmate. Okay, that's why they call it. The king can move only one step, okay, in any of the direction. So, and usually there's a check. So that's when when the king is threatened, and the checkmate is when the king has to capitulate. Okay, so that was the little description of how the chess works. And I have something very interesting for you, because one thing is that, as I told you, life is chess and chess is life. So chess not only does have, because sorry, I'm jumping from one topic to another, because we are so used to living life, and this game actually has also its esoteric meaning, to which I'm actually going to introduce you. But right now, what we're going to do is to allow ourselves to choose the position that we want to go. So we have 6 positions, just like 6 main figures in this game. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And I am going to describe your personality with beautiful tarot cards. And oh, you see the bell is ringing, sorry. I have to do it because it's a very good sign. The bell itself is kind of rang a little bit. You can maybe go back and just listen to the little tingling out there. I guess the universe is giving us a good sign saying that, hey, go ahead and do this. Awesome. I really enjoy this. So please choose one of the positions. And we are going to start this beautiful reading. So I'm going to explain to you the esoterical meaning of your personality and your figure in the chess game, in the game of life, Game of Thrones. And of course, we're going to check out your strength, your opportunities, some of maybe things that you have to work on, and some of the threats which might come into your life. Okay? So, without further ado, please choose one. Remember that all of the stamps with the time are below. Also, by the way, if you need time to think, go ahead and do so, but just don't take too much time, as I always say, because then it's going to be a logical choice rather than intuitive. And the whole point of this beautiful reading is to actually make an intuitive choice. So without further ado, I'm starting with the first position. Okay. I just need to make sure that I will not forget which stone is coming after which one, because that's very typical of me to do so. And the first one is the heart-shaped one. So the heart-shaped ones are actually the beautiful pawns, okay, over here. As I've told you, it's a very amazing type of figure, because if to look at it from the normal side, from the game side, it's one of the weakest, supposedly, but also the biggest one that has the opportunity. Okay, if to look from esoterical point of view, usually the pawns are representing the childhood, from the moment that you're born to your age of 12. Okay, up to your teenage age, let's say that way. In the ancient times, usually the pawns were the normal people who were working, who were taking the time with earth. They are also, if to talk about the energies, right? First of all, it's a first chakra. Okay, is the base chakra that is responsible for our food, for our sexual parts, right? For the good air, water, all the basic necessities for the home and etc. Okay, so usually pawns are the people who are working hard, working a lot. They are also having the whole world above them, and they are having quite a good health usually. Okay, then afterwards, also what I can see from this part is that if to talk about the energies, it's the earth, is the earth energy. Okay, so because in ancient time, a lot of normal people, they used to spend a lot of time with earth. So one of the things which are responsible for you, or which you are responsible for, is the earth. And if to look into the esoterics, it's usually the pentacles themselves. Okay, the pawn themselves, they actually have the need to go to materialistic parts, right? They want to balance everything, they want to value everything, and they want to actually compare everything. They usually amused by the world, as just like all of the kids are doing, So I can see that your inner child is actually very, very strong in this situation, and you have a lot of things that you want to make in the right order, right? And this is a beautiful thing, actually. Without pawns, the life would not be the same, right? The thing is that also, in terms of the chakras, if the first chakra is not working, the rest of them are not going to work properly well too. So you are a very, 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 very important part in the whole life. Okay, so now I'm going to push it a little bit so we have the space, okay, for the cards, and I'm sure that cards are going to tell me the same. Ooh, wow. Okay, so strength. Okay, let's go through the weaknesses. Wow, and it gives me 2 cards. This is interesting. How come? Sorry. Opportunities. Please allow me to see your opportunities, my dear people. Opportunities. Oh, opportunities is 1 card. Wow, death. Okay, and threats. Allow me to explain now how things are working for you. So as you may see, for the strength, you have the devil and the 3 of cups. Please don't be scared. It doesn't mean that the devil is running after you. No. The devil, first of all, tells me that you are a very passionate person. You make others fall in love with you very easily, and you are so hardworking that people are actually cannot help but bend down, okay, under your influence. You kind of like chain them, to yourself, and you have also the possibility of be able to improve your skills, to improve your higher beings, your self-understanding. What I can see here as your strength is that you can conquer the world, actually. Just like the pawn, it goes slowly, but it gets to the part where it wants to get. Okay, it gets to this beautiful end of line and becomes the king, the queen, whatever, or the queen or the rook or the knight or the bishop, and it just rules the world. So the good part in you, that the first things first, you are able to unite people, and you are able to actually make people follow you. And this is an important thing, to make people follow your order, your thought. And if you haven't tried it yet, please try so, because I am sure that a lot of people who would like to listen to your thoughts, opinions, and your ideas out there, there are a lot of people who could actually follow you. Okay, and the second strength, which I can see and which is important for people like you, are not so often seen. You know how to party, you know how to take a rest, you know how to be festive, you know how to be full of joy and be thankful to the universe and the whole creations out there, with your, like, showing your gratitude towards the life, just like a kid, just like this beautiful kid that explores the world. He doesn't take things for granted, but he rather explores everything, and he enjoys his time of life. So as I said, your inner child with your festive personality is definitely out there. I can see that, but sometimes also what can happen is that you are also very you're also very how to say, just a second, I'm trying to find a good word in English. You're also the party animal, and you are able to do a lot of wonderful things, actually, because what I can see is that we have the 15th arcana, the major arcana in here, and we have the 3 of cups. Of course, remember to use your persuasion mode. And even when you are having a lot of fun and you're enjoying yourselves, actually you can use even more of your persuasions, because, for example, a lot of interesting deals are happening during the smoking break, or during the lunch, or during the trip to the, I don't know, trip to the mountains or to the gym. You know, people meet each other, like the businessmen, they meet each other during this time, and they actually, while having fun, they discuss their business. So this is the kind of a feeling I have from you. Really good strength. I can see that you are very strong people, and if you haven't tried the business, you have to try it, because I'm sure you're going to gain a lot of beautiful possibilities. So what are your weaknesses? But I don't want to call them the weaknesses, because it's something that you just need to a little bit improve in yourself, okay? And what I can see, just like the pawn, the pawn actually is usually the one that begins the game. Usually it could be also the knight. There's a second possibility, but a lot of people prefer to actually start with the classical pawn system, you know, or yeah, like that, or like that, or like that, depending. And pawns are usually the first ones to be destroyed, as I told you, in the game, most of the times. I can see that sometimes you're taking too much of responsibilities on your shoulders. And this is definitely a side where you can improve it with your strength. So remember, you can actually go convince people to help you in order to get rid of this difficult situation for yourself, and get rid of this 10 of Wands, which are actually giving you a hard time in terms of your work, in terms of your relationships, in terms of your personal growth. I can see that you're the type of person who works hard and thinks that I will gain things only through hard working. I can only gain everything what I want in life through the hard work, through fighting, through difficult convincing of other people. But trust me, there are way more actually things than just that. And if you allow the universe to prove you wrong, and it would be awesome if the universe could prove you wrong, because then obviously your life would become a lot easier for you and for the people around you, definitely. And you would open up to the space. I could see also some of you might have issues with the back. Could be that you have back pains, okay? Also possible, because you know, when in the spiritual realm you're putting too much, you know, strength and efforts into handling things, obviously it's going to show up in your physical world, and that's one of the things. And the second one is the Queen of Swords. Oh, Jesus Christ. I am the Queen of Swords, so I definitely can understand this moment. Sorry, just a second. Sorry, there was this noise, so I had to close down the door. So, yep. I'm also the Queen of Swords myself, and it's a tough time sometimes even for myself to be this way. Why? Because I'm actually a very nice, easygoing person, but once I get angry, and I start to use my words, and that's a sword. You know, she has her sword up there. She's about to actually punish the people. And it reminds me a lot of the Justice card, but the only thing is that the lady doesn't have the balance there, okay, in her hand. She actually has this hand like, come here, let me chop off your head. Like, off with the head! That's the kind of feeling I have. And when I use the words, and I use pretty nasty words, because I know I know how to hurt people, really, I do. I can hit them like... in the lowest part with just one word, and that creates a lot of difficulty for people sometimes to be around me. That's the kind of energy I receive here. You are most probably sometimes have to take a lot of responsibilities on your own. First things first, because you don't trust people. There could be some trust issues, okay? Even though your inner child is out there, but you could be that your inner feminine and inner masculine are blocked from time to time. You know, there are some blockages, and that's why you could see, like in the strength part also, the inner feminine and inner masculine are being ruled by the inner child. Also possible. But that's not something that remember, I'm not trying to tell you something harsh so that you would feel horrible. No, it's just the area that we all have to work in, or to have to work for. And I can see a lot of air, you know, in you. There could be air signs in here: Libras, Aquarius, Geminis. And also the thing is that because sometimes you use harsh words with people. For example, somebody tells you, oh, do you want me to help you? And you're like, no. Okay. You're like, no thanks, I don't need that. And this creates a lot of burden, because people afterwards, they ask you once, they ask you twice, but then at the end they're like, you know what, he will anyways will not or she will anyways will not accept my help, so let me just do my thing. And you end up having a lot of responsibilities by yourself. So remember to keep control of your power of words. Remember, this is a very, very, very interesting part. And why am I saying this? Because I can see in your opportunities the Death card. It's a transformation card. It's the transformation card for you. What you can do is that you can transform yourself in any type of person you want. And as I told you, the pawn goes to the end of the line. You're almost at the end. And now you have the possibility to become the rook, the knight, the bishop, or the queen. You see how the cards are resonating with your description of the chess figure? It's crazy. I really enjoy it a lot. So yeah, you have the possibility to become whoever you want. Okay, you can transform yourself, and you have that opportunity. The universe gives you this chance. Remember just to keep your thoughts and your words, because swords are thoughts and words. It's a very interesting part where you need to control yourself. I think I've told in one of the videos before, you know, if you want to start actually do the changes in your personality and become less aggressive, like aggressive, you know, aggressive looking to the other people, what you can do is to put the bracelet on your hand, and each time whenever you're going to think negative, or even think of saying no, or you are doing it in reality, you are saying no or telling negative things, you put your bracelet on the other hand, and you continue to change it from one hand to another until you at least spend one day without having to change your bracelet from one hand to another. It's such a strong exercise, and it creates so much prosperity for you. It's unbelievable. I've tried to do this before, and it helped me a lot in my positive thinking. I understand, of course, we cannot always be positive. We cannot always be nice and easygoing, but that's why, you know, in Asia we don't say no, we say maybe, or such a good idea, we'll look into it after and we will let you know. So that's why sometimes with Asian people it's hard to make business. I know, but that's how we handle things, you know. We don't like to say no to the person because we respect them and we understand the law of the attraction and the universe, and that's why we're like, you know, it's a not no, because who knows, you know. Just like Arabics, they say inshallah, you know, if the God will allow it to happen, it will happen. Okay, so the same over here. And your so-called threats, the Knight of Pentacles, you see, the thing is that with the pawn, right, it goes into one direction. Okay, it can eat someone and it still goes in one direction. Sometimes the disadvantage of ours as human beings, and it's not only about you, my beautiful pawns. it's actually a general thing with everyone. Sometimes we're so stuck, we're so focused, we're so stubborn, that we don't want to see the other opportunities around us. And this card is actually a very beautiful card because it tells me about your eagerness to receive things the way you want them in life. Remember that Pentacles is also a very good work, a hard work that you're doing. Again, another card, just like in weaknesses, is telling me about your hard-working selves, But the thing is that just like this beautiful knight with the shining armors, he only sees things in one direction. But there's so much more around him. There's so much more happening, actually. And sometimes it's important to release the thoughts, release the ideas, release your mind, and try to go further and try to explore the world. Open up your inner child more. Don't turn into this adult that is very scared of exploring things in life, but be more advantageous, be more open to new ideas, because sometimes, we are, as human beings, when we have too many responsibilities to take, and you can see like the person does not see what is ahead of him because he's looking down, he holds this wands next to him, he doesn't see what's out there, that there's this beautiful castle, there are beautiful trees, there's this beautiful opportunities for him. Okay, so try to be more flexible, and your opportunities are actually definitely outstanding. You can definitely transform yourself, but the whole point is that not to just work and work and work for the sake of working, but actually enjoying the life and trying to see things from different angles and points of views. Okay, also it's about try to understand people around you, or if you don't understand them, at least listen to their messages, because you can see that the person's head is covered, his ears are covered, he only sees in one direction. Listen to the words that are being said to you, because what the people are saying to you sometimes is also what God tells you. Okay, through their words, the God is telling you. And I'm sure there are bunch of people who would love to help you in this journey, who would be more than happy to assist you in your transformation. Just allow yourself to do so. Allow yourself to be this joyful, wonderful, childish human being. You don't always have to be this hardworking, strict person that is ruling others and telling them what to do. Show people some of your vulnerabilities. It is actually in psychology also a very important part, in order to get into good relationships with people, you have to show your vulnerabilities from time to time. I know it's tough. I know some of us are very, I would imagine in here sitting very well the Strength card, because this is the type of people who are don't want to show their weaknesses. Okay, so let's see what kind of message the universe wants to tell you. But I'm sure you are going to listen. Now that you have listened to this beautiful reading, you are actually going to start changing your life. There's this beautiful book, I think I've also told in one of the readings, the Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I don't remember who wrote this. Read it. It's a very beautiful book. There's a lot of swearing definitely in it. Swearing words. And I like to swear. The only reason why I'm not swearing in these videos is because, well, I'm trying to be very spiritual. Because swearing words are actually not cool. They're not good for our energies, There are two cards actually coming out, okay? So the universe is telling you, when I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. Oh my God, so beautiful. Listen to it once again. When I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. You see? And when I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. Surrender to the power of your inner beauty. Surrender to the power of your soul. Your soul and your spirit, they know what you need. They understand it. And they really want to give this to you. Just allow yourselves to receive. For most of you, I would tell guys, go ahead and meditate. Travel more. See new things. Meet new people. Be more festive with each other. Find someone who you can talk to if you need. By the way, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, if you're going to psychologist, it's like you're going to the shrink. No, it's not. People, you have no idea how sometimes it can help just to talk to someone, just even to tell someone like your fears, your issues, your vulnerabilities. Once you let them out, and this person is professional, he can help you to open up your beauty, because sometimes, and that's what and why I'm telling you to go to a psychologist or someone that is not related to you anyhow, because I feel that you have hard times opening to your friends about your emotions and your feelings, and because of that you're having this difficult moments in your life. So if you have the chance, or try, I sometimes well, I have a friend, and she told me that it's such a strange thing. She cannot open up with her friends about her life, but she actually met just one person in the plane, and it was a random person, and he just said something to her like, "Oh, you don't seem to be happy." And she started crying. Actually, she told him the whole story of his life. It has changed a lot of her personality, because I feel like she needed this, and she just couldn't trust like anyone out there. And it's sometimes easier to talk to someone that you don't know, and that is not anyhow related to you, and you will not feel that you're being judged. And I can see that you definitely don't want that. You don't want to be judged by others, and so you can find that person, even if it's not psychologist, it's somebody out there who's not related to you anyhow. It could be just a stranger, that you meet somewhere at the party, and you just tell him the story, and that's it. You go, that it's never going to be told to anyone, because this person doesn't know you, and he doesn't know who you are, what you are, but you'll feel a lot better. Okay? So, I guess that was it. It was a wonderful and beautiful reading, guys. I'm very thankful that we had this little conversation, soul-to-soul conversation. I hope this reading helps you and will help you in your beautiful journey of transformation. I wish you all the best and good luck. I have been through what you're going through. I totally understand how tough it is to sometimes to show your vulnerabilities to the other people and just accept the help, but you need it, and so do we all in this universe. Okay, so thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourselves, and see you next time. Bye. Okay, guys, so now we are coming to the second reading, which is the black stone out here, and we have this beautiful bishop, or the so-called camel. So let me explain how things are working from esoterical point of view, because it's a very interesting thing that you have to remember. First things first. Who is a bishop? Bishop is actually the so-called scientists, right? The type of people, especially from the ancient times, scientists or the monks or the priests, who have very strong values, and they know what they're doing. Okay, all of their moves, because they go diagonally, all of their moves are actually explained, and they are very they are very smart because they can actually protect, you know, from a long distance. Okay, if to talk about the age where the pawn was from up to 12 years old, then actually the officer, right? It's the so-called the eyes of the body, right? If the pawns, by the way, I think I forgot to tell it, the pawns are actually the skin, and the camel or the officer or the bishop is actually the eyes. And the thing is that it's usually, if you talk about the age, what kind of age, right? This is what kind of esoterical age, what kind of experience age is that? It's actually between 36 to 48, where you are very wise, you are closer to elderly people, but I don't mean like in a physical way, right? I'm just talking about your mind. You you know the value of money. You understand that your moves are not just, you know, vertical or horizontal or vertical, but also you have this possibility to move in different directions than the other. The only thing that is missing for this person is some of the materialistic material parts, because usually the scientists and the monks, they're not interested in a materialistical world, but rather interested in spiritual or in science world. So beautiful, actually. By the way, in terms of the energies, oh gosh, sorry, sorry, not sorry. Yeah, bishops in terms of their energy, if pawns are the earth, then I would say bishops are the wands in the cards of tarot, and they're responsible for the fire, baby, fire, because you live with your emotions, with your knowledge and your passion in it. Let me see. We're going to look into 4 parts: the so-called strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and plus the little message from the universe. Why were you born like this? I was born this way. Okay, so this is the strength, let's say that way. Oh wow, I can already see some beauty. Then your so-called weaknesses, but I don't even want to call them weaknesses because it's just something that you have to work on. That's it. Work. You see my beautiful singing abilities are coming out. Okay, what kind of... Okay, weaknesses. I can already see. I've told you you're not materialistically involved. Okay, your opportunities. Come on. Okay, wow, High Priestess. And your threats. This is so... Gosh, sorry, too many cards. This is so seriously? The Star and the Tower. Okay, major arcanas. There are a lot of major arcanas in here, like 4 major arcanas. Why? Why so many? Okay, let's start with the good notes. Let's start with beautiful information on how good you are. First things first, your strength are the Page of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. Directly, without even telling, I can see that you're passing a lot of knowledge and a lot of prosperity to the others. You're very oriented on the spirituality. And this is an amazing quality because you give the ones in need. You know, you provide the ones in need. And it's also very beautiful. Beautiful card because it tells me about your ability to understand, comprehend, because you can see that the balance he holds in his hand, he is just, he holds everything in a justice manner. Okay, and it's a wonderful thing. Definitely, I can tell you directly that it's one of the most beautiful cards out there. And when it comes to the Page of Cups, you are definitely, first of all, a very emotional person. That's why you're giving a lot of beauty and a lot of messages to this world. You're also the person who likes to meet new people, to communicate with new people. You're like a present. You are like a present from the universe to people because you provide them with this information, happiness, life force, okay? Energy, first things first. It's also about being very honest, and rather than concentrating on the bad sides of the people, concentrating on their good sides. And it's important. And moreover, your soul is very young, okay? Usually I would say it's a young soul, it's a young body with an old soul, okay, because emotions are there. And you can definitely, despite of your young age, or maybe your young looking body, be wise enough to give the opportunities to other people, okay? Also, when it comes to your personal qualities, right? You like to wonder, you like to go into the fantasies, you're very romantic, very poetic. You definitely have a beautiful understanding of life, your own way of understanding things, and you can move a long way because you're very wise. Because I can see from the Six of Pentacles that you're wise, but your soul is still kind of young, It's like your inner child is also, just like in the position number one, your inner child is working very well. But also your inner masculine and inner feminine are working hard, and they're all actually in balance. Your inner child explores the world. You go here and there, you actually know what you're doing, but at the same time, your inner masculine and inner feminine is out there, and they are helping to gain this experience from inner child and transform it and pass it to the others. You're actually a beautiful healer, a beautiful helper. Like, you help to the universe, you help to the people by being so wonderful. Okay, that's your positive things, and that's your strength. What are your weaknesses? Okay, also called the things that you have to put your attention to. We have Five of Pentacles. As I told you, you're not the type of person who is materialistically oriented, but sometimes it also can be difficult for you because we're living in a materialistic world. We're living in the 21st century, unfortunately, where money and all of the materialistic goods are important in our life, even though sometimes we wish they were not. So sometimes you feel like you are lacking, and the universe can see that also you are lacking some materialistic goods, right? Materialistic stuff. And also what I can see from here is because you believe, some of you, not all of you, some of you might think that actually, materialistic things are bad. You should only concentrate on the spirituality. But let me tell you something very interesting. We right now are living in such time when we have to be monks among the world. We cannot just go into the little mountain and hide ourselves. We have to surface each day-on-day situation. We are living in the era where the materialistic world and the spiritual world are united together and combined, and you have to survive and be successful in both of the parts, because you really believe upon, and you're calling upon the higher judgments, higher fairness. And sometimes people can take advantage of it. For example, somebody actually mistreats you, and you're like, you know what, God will actually, I will forgive you and let the God actually judge you. But the thing is that sometimes it happens, sometimes it's not. You know, there's so many ways that people are cheating the system of esoterics and system of the universe. They use black magic. They even, you know, like for example, a very, very good example, back in the old days, right? What used to happen in Christianity. And no offense to Christianity whatsoever. I like you guys. I go to church. I like to put candles. I like all the religions out there, guys. Really enjoy it. And it's really cool, actually, that you're following it for so long. The Christianity, where back in the old times, people could come to church, they would leave the money, and they would get these tickets to actually, you know, have this... forgiveness of their sins. How stupid is that, right? But the whole point is that when the person starts to believe in it, that's how it goes. And sometimes the person never receives the punishment or the fair treatment for what he has done. Or he receives it, but by that time it actually doesn't really matter, you know, anymore. For example, it can happen when they are very old, you know, and what's the good outcome from you, even if he's going to be punished in a fair manner? That wouldn't bring the situation back and make yourself feel better. So sometimes you have to stand up for yourself at the moment, and don't allow just the universe to take the step, but also be more proactive yourself, because universe is definitely there for you, but you are creating your reality, and that's one of the most important things that you have to keep in mind. So please work on that, okay? Remember, you can manifest things. I can see a lot of strong people in here, with the law of manifestation, with the law of minds in here. But also remember, sometimes we're giving to each other for some good reasons, right? We are given to each other for some very good reasons, and sometimes God allows us to punish others. Actually, in most of the cases, God allows us to do the judgment on our own, okay? Also, what I can see, because there are 6 of Pentacles turning into 5 of Pentacles, there could be also a possibility, a huge possibility, that you're giving way too much, more than you receive. You're giving way too much energy, too much time, too much blessings to the people out there, that you are left with not enough for yourselves, okay? So please pay attention to that. I know being kind is a good thing, and by the law of the religions, they are saying you have to give the people in need. But remember, by the law of esoterics, you give the people in need when you are no longer in a need yourself, when you have a full cup on your own. Because your strength is that you have the full cup, and you have even the fish in it, okay? The beautiful fish in it. And sometimes you're just, allow me to help to the others, okay? And then they're taking too much of your luck, your all of your materialistic things, and you are left, you know, in this sad emotion. And I really don't want you to do this. I really want you to focus on yourselves first. You yourself first before everybody else. When you are happy, you will be able to make others happy, okay? That's the part. So what's about opportunities? And I can see the High Priestess in here. Wow. This is a major card in here. High priestess is the person, first of all, who is religious, who has some hidden knowledge and understanding of the universe. I definitely can see that you can learn even more about the universe itself and the way how we are created, the way we are supposed to live, and the whole system behind it. I can clearly see here a lot of people who can go into esoterics, for example, themselves, or go deeper into religion and receive a lot of blessings from the universe, right? You can also be the person who is and I'm talking about general things, it's not only about esoterics, it's about hidden knowledge. Hidden knowledge in here could be also, for example, you're working in the military, okay, and you have the access to some secret information, right, that nobody else knows, or like a very limited amount of people know. You can access some hidden knowledges. By the way, this could be also about mind traveling to the other dimensions, to the other spaces. It could be also about people who can learn the astrology, right? You can learn tarot cards, you can learn different types of magic, because there are a lot of different types of magic out there, by the way. You can do all kinds of sign readings, because universe is actually giving us so many signs, and it's crazy, but we're just so sometimes ignorant that we don't notice it. And you have a really high opportunity to actually do notice those signs and do learn a lot of beautiful, mesmerizing things out there. Okay, and your threats. So the star and the tower, of course. On the journey of learning something hidden, something new, and because it's going to be a long journey, sometimes it could be a long distance that you have to pass through, right? There could be moments when you will feel like nothing is working out. I'm just wasting my time. It's so unreachable for me. It's like a star, actually. Okay, this is the kind of little thread that you have, that sometimes you might feel the loss of the energy, or loss of the belief that you can achieve what you want. Okay, in science, in esoterics, in life, in relationships, in people, sometimes you might also lose your belief in people. This is also a very difficult part. That's why the universe actually sends you right now the message by keeping your materialistic part higher. Okay, go and do not say no to people's help, to people's time, to people's money that they're giving to you, because these are all your beautiful opportunities to receive the hidden knowledge. Because if you want, the sad part is that you might actually lose the faith in the universe, and lose the faith in yourself, and lose the faith and belief in people. And I really don't want you to do this. I really wish you all the best, because look, it's me and you having soul-to-soul conversation, right? You are a wonderful human being. You're amazing out there, and you have so many beautiful things around you. So just to start to be more receptive, be more accepting towards what's coming towards you and what comes into your hands. Don't neglect it sometimes because you believe in higher beings, or somebody else is there is going to take care of you. No, you take care of yourself first. You are the person that is your biggest importance, and then everybody else. Once you're going to be in this Ten of Pentacles moment, you're going to receive all the blessings that you can possibly have. Yes, then you can help to the others. But right now, the most important part is you and yourself. Okay, so let me actually show you. Oops. Okay. Yeah, it's the it's the other first ones. So let me shuffle the cards. So what's the message the universe is sending you? What kind of message does it tell you? What does it want to, how does it want to motivate you or give you the guidance? There is nothing sexier than my authentic truth. How cool is this? Okay? Remember to believe in yourself. Remember that you have all you need. You are an amazing person with amazing qualities, and you will be able to reach this high priestess moments. No need to feel burdened or that the universe doesn't give you everything. Just be more receptive and remember, your truth is the real truth. It's the authentic truth. Okay? So, I guess that was it for you, my beautiful second positions. Thank you very much for visiting. Thank you very much for liking, sharing, subscribing. I'll see you next time, and I hope this message was helpful enough to you, for you to start moving and processing your mind, your thoughts first before all, right? And your receptivity. Okay, great. So see you next time. Bye.